welcome to the eighth episode of the StoryEdge, and I'm really excited. Got an interesting guest, a super awesome gentleman by the name of Jason Luboyera, and Jason is a LinkedIn expert. He's a marketing expert, and someone I really wanted. I've seen him online, seen him do some cool things. Post some really interesting stuff about his business, about tactics and strategies that people should employ on LinkedIn, and we're gonna pierce his brain and sort of get in there, get a look inside there. I'm your host, Marlon August, and to the StoryEdge is really, Jason. StoryEdge is what we try and do is we help busy business owners try and understand about creating content and how to create content. And I know that you're an awesome content creator. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks so much, Marlon, for having me. I'm actually humbled that my content actually impressed your feed. That's always a nice thing to know when, you're within the feed and something resonates. Yeah, and as you said, I'm in the content marketing and sales enablement space. Really focused just on LinkedIn as a platform. And fortunate enough, I'm running a team through my company called 365 DigiSales.
Awesome. So yeah. Tell me, Jason. So I want to talk a little bit about your primary focus on LinkedIn, and lead that into, many companies think that they need to be on all the platforms. What is your thought about that?
Yeah, very, very good comment, right? So I think many companies do think that because of people like Gary V, even our own other socialites that we have here, I don't know if you know Vusi, those guys are on every platform, right? Yes. But we must not forget these guys have teams who are deploying and repurposing their content. So we can almost see them as how we should be. But how I see it, right? I look at social media, business, life as the easiest asset to manage is time, right? Time is super important. So focusing on one platform is like saying, okay, I value time and I know I only have a certain amount of chips, which are 24 chips in a day. And which platform is going to give me the biggest return on investment if I take 5 chips? But if I've got 5 platforms and I've only got 5 chips to play, and I'm playing 1 chip on each, we're not going to really reap the most return on investment out of that platform. So right now, that's why I say, like, any company between 1 and 5 to 8 years, you should be focusing on one platform. And for me, I'm in the B2B service space, right? And LinkedIn is still today the best place to generate leads, build a bit brand awareness organically, right? And that's also the crazy thing. And I think it's a growing platform, so I think it still has a little bit of longevity till it becomes a Facebook.
Agreed. So I mean, you spoke about a lot of important things there. I mean, there's a lot of smaller businesses out there, or even middle-sized businesses or even large, that don't really know how the platforms work. Right. So if you don't understand the platform, and you need to have the social media presence, it doesn't make sense to just be on all of them, because you're just going to do the same thing everywhere, which doesn't work. Because I mean, LinkedIn already has changed quite a lot, and we're going to talk about. I'd love to just pick your brain around how it's changed and where you think it's going in terms of what content we should be putting on there. But I've noticed, like, now a lot more. Presentations are going up a lot more. The content, the drive with certain hashtags has been quite interesting. Like the hashtags that have been popping up on my feed, and I mean, like you were talking about before it becomes a Facebook, in terms of the visibility is a lot bigger on Facebook. I mean on LinkedIn. So compared to Facebook, right? When you have followers and you have people that are liking and sharing your content. Now, the problem is, like, if you go in with everything, you're going to just do everything everywhere. And that just drowns out everything. It doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. And like you say, it's just a bad use of time. So When you take on your clients, do you actually do the content creation for them, or does your team do that for them, or is it mainly around the strategy and helping them sort of get leads on LinkedIn?
Yeah, so yeah, we're a turnkey solution. Everything from starting off, I like to say we start off with cleaning the house, because you just made a mention saying, hey, many people don't even understand these platforms, and many people actually don't understand LinkedIn. So what I mean by that, they still think it's a glorified CV, right? They think, let me go and show my best self in this professional light to get my next job. But business owners need to actually change their mindset in, this is a house that I call a sales landing page, right? So make your LinkedIn profile look like a sales landing page that talks value to your ideal client.
Right.
So that's where we start. We say, let's clean the house, let's do a LinkedIn makeover, everything from the copywriting to the graphic design. And then we do the strategy. If we're talking about a personal brand or a company brand, what does that look like? What does that mean? And then we deploy content together. Yeah, I love to work together. It's not, we've actually built out a nice system that we will never sound like Marlon, right? But we can pick Marlon's brain and then make him sound better.
Right.
On the right. So that's one interesting thing that we do as an agency. We actually gonna work you. We work you, but we make it fun, right? Yeah.
I think that's a very smart way of doing business, especially in this new, well, because managing social media, especially in South Africa, I'd say is really new still. We're evolving now, because I mean, we've been doing this maybe last 8-10 years. Now it's like at a different stage where businesses have to understand that they got to own the message, they got to own the voice, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to say, no, I've just outsourced all my social media out to who farmed it out to whomever, because I've seen it so many times in companies that when they move from company to company, different social media agency to agency, the message is different, the tone is different. And so I love your approach to like actually working the customer so that even though you're handling it, the creative, and the direction on the creative, it's actually authentic, it's coming from them. So that's
yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. So let's go back a little bit in your history. So you what got you started on this journey, and why LinkedIn?
Why LinkedIn? Yeah, very, very good question. So yeah, I think a lot of time we start businesses, and I like to say we, because I've also spoken to other entrepreneurs. We do start it out of a sense of either fear of missing out or extreme value to plug in, because you feel like you know something that other people aren't doing. So that I think there's those two parallels where, like, there's that fear of like missing out, so I've got to start this thing, or it's like, geez, I'm doing so well, I need to plug this in and add more value. And I think I'm the latter. So I was like, I was doing really well at this one financial company, it's a financial services company. We were firstly 8 individuals, and we scaled to 40 in 2 years, in 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
We won awards. There was a year, I think we had like 200% year-on-year growth, right? Awesome. So as a millennial, right, I think, I do, hopefully I still look young. As a millennial, my eyes were open. I was just like, how is this happening, right? And I looked intrinsically and I was like, wait a minute, like, I'm part of this. Like I'm doing something right. And I did a self-audit, and I was like, I was using LinkedIn at that time. That was like in 2016, 15. I was using LinkedIn to do exactly what I do today. I was using HubSpot methodology of inbound marketing, conversational marketing. I think you talk a lot about that message, right? Yeah. Finding your ideal client and talking to them. Yeah. And I was within a bunch of CASs, chartered accountants, doing creative marketing. So I also think I learned a lot of resilience in selling. I wasn't even selling to customers because this product was amazing. I was selling my ideology of how to do sales to, really hard, clever chartered accountants. So I did that for about 2.5 years. And I think, to be very frank and honest, I grew out of that position. They were a real blessing to me. And yeah, then I came over to where we are today and said, okay, I was my own product. I was my own value. And I saw that I wanted to add this to other individuals, other entrepreneurs to go and win awards, go year on year growth. And that's really what excites me. Like, I know this product works and I would love to see you win awards. I would love to see you get 200% year on year growth. And that's really the story of where 365 is now today.
Awesome. I mean, so when I think a lot about, really crushing it on a platform, and what that looks like for many people, you mentioned, the one element that stood out for me there was time. It's we're 2020, moving on to 2021 at this stage. That's like 5 years of intention, and constantly knocking at the door to try and make this thing work, and putting out creatives and putting out content on a platform to actually make it work. Obviously in the beginning it wasn't always working, right? So what was the point where you said, like, I got it, I've got a system that works, and what was that trial and error leading up to that?
Sure. Yeah, it's right. You're making me actually reflect. I think maybe because I like the platform so much, it doesn't feel 5 years and long,
Right.
But what hit the nail on the head? I think what hit the nail on the head is understanding. Social platforms are communities, right? And I have a Facebook account, but I really don't use it. I have an Instagram account, but I don't really use it. I don't have a Twitter account, but I understand social platforms. And then when I looked at these other platforms, and basically what I am looking at is the community that's on there. I didn't, not to judge them, but I didn't resonate with how they manage themselves on the community. So the information they share, how they share it, and what conversations can lead from the content being shared there. So what hit me about LinkedIn is like, yes, the same person could be on Twitter, but when they rock up on LinkedIn, they're total different person, right? They're sharing business insights. They big up their team staff, so you can like give each other kudos. Be like, yo, Marlon deployed this campaign. It got 200% growth. So there was a lot of that on LinkedIn, and a lot of free learning. Like people will be like, this tech tool does not work. It needs to work this way for free, right? And that hit me because LinkedIn, from 2016 when I was using it, was still a bit CV-like, but it was, I think it started in 2011, around 2008. 9 there. This content marketing, this sharing value for free, give, take, that analogy, was really being pushed. And I wanted to be part of that. I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense. So yeah, that's what that hit. Yeah, the culture.
But now, so there's that element though of, especially when it comes to social media, when it comes to even LinkedIn. How much content is enough? You just spoke about give, take, and like there's this. So at what point is it monetizable? Because as businesses, there's money that's being thrown into content creation, but there's no human being that's buying at the end of that line. It becomes redundant really fast, or it loses its the palette. The company loses their palette for it very quickly. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? And what's your message to sort of companies that that need to start, that they're thinking about this, but they need to do something about it, and just don't really know when is it time to say to throw in the towel, or let's just say.
Yes. Brilliant question. Yeah, I love that. That's a very, very good question because you have a certain amount of time, right? And then you also have a certain amount of money. There's
Yeah.
people who have more time than money, and then there's people who have more money than time,
Right.
right? So if you have more money than time, that's where you start investing into time so other people do stuff for you. But
Correct.
if you have less money than time, so you need to invest money, you need to invest your own time to generate money, right? And I think most individuals are in the latter where it's like, I've got this lot of time, or you don't even feel like it, so I need to invest my time properly to make more money, right?
Right.
So yeah, my answer there is I like to go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, guys, let's get back to who's our ideal client. Let's study them, and that you can study for free because everybody leaves nuggets on the internet, right? And you don't have to create one piece of content to find out who your ideal client, because your competitors creating content, your ideal client is liking and sharing and commenting in the DMs of your competitors' content. And you can just go and watch. You can go and see, like, let's say we're not in direct competition, but you leave a piece of content out, right? And 20 people like it, 10 people comment. We're in the digital marketing space. I can just go in there and be like, oh, okay, so yeah, just scrape that data, look at it for free, right? And if it took me 4 hours, now you say, okay, my billable hours, if you want to get that technical, was 4 hours looking at that. But you've got 40 people who you could exactly now market to directly, right? And that's where I would say companies need to start looking at your ideal client and how do they behave. And then anything that comes out of that and you start doing content marketing is that message to them.
Wow.
And then I also always say, like, I believe in outbound marketing and outbound sales. That saying, build it and they will come. That's not true. Like,
Yeah. So wait, let's decode that word, outbound marketing, because I know there's like quite a number of people who are not in our industry and don't know what the heck you just said. So what is outbound marketing?
Yeah. So inbound marketing, I feel, is more of a philosophy. It's how you manage and share content. So inbound marketing is a way of sharing value through content that resonates and allows people to say, okay, I feel like this is for free. So like they call it the customer journey. Like there's content that is awareness, that, oh, I'm aware that I need to get fit. And then Nike will then help you consider indoor and outdoor shoes through content. And then they'll make you decide, should I buy it online or offline or come in store for 50%, right? You don't even know that you did that. They made you aware that fitness is good. They helped you consider, I'm an indoor and outdoor runner. And then, then helped you decide. So that's a sort of an inbound marketing like type of engagement. Outbound marketing, it is a terminology, but I feel like it's more where you're now directly selling to your individual through direct marketing, right? So you stepping out your way. So exactly. So I find Marlin's DM, I drop in the DM. I drop into Marlin's DM directly and market to just straight. Marlon, I know that you're a business owner. You've been doing business for about 3-4 years. Listen, I know you probably don't have time, but choose time in my calendar so that we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
I
mean, so you talk about, I'm busy working on I think we spoke about it just before, and I was saying, like, I'm working on a bit of a program that'll help people sort of just challenge them to make some money and do it from an online perspective as a main goal. And one of the main elements in any marketing approach is understanding who your customer is. If you don't know who your customer is, you don't know what they want, you can't actually give them what they want, and then you can't make sales, right? And you mentioned that. So I think that strategy of having to watch your customers and then, your opposition, or people that are doing well, that actually you share the same type of customer because you know who they are firstly, and then you can go and watch them and you can go see, and then the beautiful thing about LinkedIn, you literally you click on the guy that commented or the lady that commented, you go right into their profile and boom, you can connect directly to the person. I mean, it sounds silly sometimes. I mean, in my head it sounds silly, but it's actually like, it's mind-blowing how fast that is, because me sitting here without the internet, how would I be able to know who that person is and connect directly with the VP of whatever company? It's just
Exactly. Yeah, and it's also a very interesting thing. They say watch your competitor, which is, there's that line where, oh, don't watch your competitors. I think that's it's again like how your mindset in terms of, are you watching your competitor to watch their product, like how they evolve their products? Because then it's always like a head to head. No, because your value is totally different, right?
Yeah.
You're always going to believe that. Yeah, so that you make that distinguishing where it's like, no, you're just watching the fact that the internet has provided that for you. It's just, we're all in this, if you want to call it, this big battlefield, right? This big battlefield where it's actually free for you to engage and research, right?
It really
Research is important.
It's mind blowing. And so I mean, when the more I you mentioned, so you're talking about like outbound. So outbound means you actually go out there and you connect directly with your ideal audience or your prospect, and you engage with them. And there's this element of the internet making people feel like, everything should be sort of passive. And and what you're suggesting here is a real connection online. And I think maybe this is also what COVID sort of had to mash up for us, in terms of, we can't see each other, but we still need to connect, because humans have this really, we don't need to necessarily meet in the same room, but we definitely need to see each other more often. And we can do that now in this way. So if I need to like sort of get this cash injection, I need to especially move into the new year with some renewed vigor with my products and services. Is that what you suggest? Outbound marketing as a strategy that I'd need to employ?
Yeah, I think outbound marketing is it's a low-hanging fruit for people who are ready to put in their own time, right? And it's also, I also empathize. There is a confidence thing, because I would suggest you get someone to give you that confidence that this message that you're about to send to this one individual is good. But also understand that you will get rejected, right? There's that element. So even though it's a logical low-hanging fruit for you to go out, because there's statistics that now it's actually easier to cold call. Why? Because Marlon's cell phone is right there, right? And it's gonna buzz. It's gonna buzz, right? And he's gonna look at it, and he's an opportunist. He's gonna get up. Like cold warm calling is actually right now hot, super hot, right? I connect with you on LinkedIn. I hit you up on the phone. Right. So outbound sales, outbound marketing, very hot. But I'd also just get your psyche and your mindset correct, where someone can support you and build that confidence. So yeah, I think you're right on the nugget there. Go 2020, 2021. Outbound marketing should be part of your marketing suite.
Honestly, I think it's the game, especially if you need something, if you need your some boost in your business right now, you got to go out and look for it. You got to go get it, and not in this like we need
sales way yet,
but in this way of providing value and really just trying to find ways to help each other. And I mean, LinkedIn is a network, as you said. It's like a community. So what I know, there's a lot of conversation today about the different languages on the different platforms. And so what would you say people should, what type of language should they, I mean, should we be like super like, prim and proper on LinkedIn? Is that the game there? Is that how we should be playing that? I mean, how does, if I'm a complete newbie, get onto LinkedIn, start to build my network, and actually start to do some outbound business on LinkedIn? How would it work?
Yeah, so to be honest, I also, when I first started LinkedIn, I was a suit and tie guy. Funny enough. Yeah, I was a suit and tie guy. I went to work with a shirt every day. I polished my shoes every day. But now, hey, look at me now. I'm in a t-shirt and thing. So yes, things have evolved, and I'm all over LinkedIn, right? I love the platform, and I can be talking to a very high-end individual with a t-shirt on. But again, it's the evolution and confidence. So to answer your question immediately, do you need to be shirt and tie? No, you don't. But do you need to have a certain type of language and tone? Yes, it's not Instagram, right? So you're not going to go ahead and be, especially let's say in the graphics, you're not going to be directly sharing your going out or your holidays on LinkedIn. But there's a borderline you can. I've seen some people, they do it, but it's because their brand resonates with that.
Right.
So how you can discover how you need to sound on LinkedIn, I'm going to go back to what I said before, is watch and learn before you engage. Listen. So there's two elements, I think three elements to marketing. On social media, you've got the posting and distributing of content. There's the engaging and you're engaging on content, but many people don't do the listening, right? Yeah, that there's a big element to that. I think when you're coming onto LinkedIn, go and listen. Just go hashtag your industry, hashtag finance. All the posts on hashtag finance will come up. Go and listen. Go and just see how people are engaging. Maybe you'll see your CEO pop up there. It's like, wow, And then you go and you research the content. Go watch, go listen. Then I would move into the engage stage. Maybe go and engage, drop in the DMs there, and see how people react to your content or that you've shared. And then you can distribute in content in your own voice. Yeah.
Yeah. So the DM is direct message. For anyone that didn't really get that, it's a direct message. And you're right. I think so. And so commenting on people's on people's posts and stuff, that'll also help to start to generate some attention and start to engage with that's the engagement portion, right? It's not just a message in their inbox, but it's as well like commenting on their content.
Yes. So let me that right there is a strategy on its own, right?
Okay.
The psychology around social media is instant validation of my perception or my idea. So you have this idea, you go out and put it into social media, you are looking for validation. So that's why they put out like, support, and the comment section. And people go and like it. And what happens in your mind? You get this little red thing. You're like, wow, yes, an adrenaline. I need to go and see what has someone said about my opinion, my idea. Yeah. Now, if as a marketeer, salesperson, you understand that psychology, right? And you also want to go and learn and resonate. Now, if I know that Marlon he's got a good voice, he's someone I want to sort of resonate and sound like, I don't need to be connected with him on LinkedIn. I can go and drop into his comment section, get him slightly excited about the comment or the like, right? But because not a lot of people comment, because it's almost as if I'm in the room putting my hand up saying, hey, listen, I don't agree, or you now put yourself out there. You've actually done the Coca-Cola effect on Marlon's mind. Because you've got said, Marlon, I approve. And Marlon's going to be like, who's this guy now? And you can do that with your ideal client. Your ideal client goes and puts a piece of content out. You don't even need to connect with them because it's too forward. Like, hey, I want to connect. No, you go and leave a comment on his post saying, Jeremy, I love the way you've expressed this, but I think of it in this way.
Right.
Coca-Cola effect. Boom, on his mind.
That's, so the other day, somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn, and the problem was this gentleman, he was an MD of some company, But the problem was I couldn't actually place him. Like, what do you actually want from me? Because he DMs me and tells me this long thing about his company. But I was like, it's great. You well done for doing well, but why are you introducing a mining company to a marketer that doesn't? And in my profile, I'm quite specific, like to say, like, this is what I do. So, there's nothing that says I'm in mining anywhere in my content. So him to reach out to me, I thought that was extremely weird. And it talks to this whole idea of not really understanding the platform, of just doing this outreach. And he actually wasted time connecting with me, because now I was like, actually, you're the right person that I need to be speaking to, because I can help you rather get the message to the right person, because you send me a message to me. It was like, not your audience. Do you know who you should be speaking to? So I think at the end of the day, it's really about I think these tactics and stuff that you're speaking about is so critical, so critical. So you just talking about a tactic. You talk about, not you talk about, I've seen you do like these little, they're like podcasts, but I think you're the only person giving these suggestions on your profile. That's really cool, by the way. I really like it. I like the whole concept of it. Could you share what that is? I know that there's a lot of work that goes into this. There's a lot of work that goes into creating that type of that piece of content.
Thanks.
Would you mind sharing a bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So I think what also you asked the question around, like, where do companies begin to create content, because it's expensive, things like that.
Yes.
So this is a tactic I use where it's like, content is I see content as value versus as expense, or like some process that's going to take long. So how can we build this valuable piece of gold? But funny enough, this piece of gold can be cut up into squares, into triangles, into circles. So what I mean by that is this one piece of gold can be cut up into a long form article, but it's got the same message, because Marlon, other individuals digest content by reading. But then you cut it into a triangle, into now someone speaking out what those 4 value points are. So now it's in audio, and then into video, and so forth, right? So now you've made one piece of gold, cut it up into 4 different types of format to digest on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn supports almost all formats of content.
Yeah.
So that's my strategy with these podcast snippets, right? So the psychology, LinkedIn, people not more than a minute and a half. If you could keep it to a minute, great. And get your subtitles in and get your face front and center, because people buy from people. And then give the value in a statement, in one word, trending, analytics, and then just flip that into a video, but it is actually an audio, because now you can turn an audio file into a video file, so that LinkedIn's algorithm thinks it's a video, but it's actually an audio.
Right.
Yeah, and then you put that up on there, and fortunately enough, tools, if you're on Macintosh, if you're on Windows, you got tools that can convert these files with a click of a button. And that's our tactic there. Chopping, giving content longevity, so repurposing content.
Perfect. And that's the thing. You don't always need to go back and create new stuff all the time. You can actually think a little bit ahead, create your content, repurpose it. So I love that idea. I see how you do it. Really great. And it looks like it's definitely working. So I thank you very, very much, Jason, for being on. This was such a great chat, man. So where can people get you? You said it's 360 me. Digi 360? I got it all wrong.
Yeah.
I butchered it. Sorry.
No worries. It actually, I see, when I learned about branding, when they can't really pronounce your name, now when I'm going to give it to you right, you're going to remember, right?
Exactly. I'll get it. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So it's 365digisales.com.
Digisales.
Yeah.
So wait, before I let you go, you're in a rebranding process at the moment, right?
Yes, I'm in a rebranding process. Yeah.
So and tell us about that a little bit quickly. So you decided to what was the reason behind you actually deciding to rebrand and give yourself a new look?
Yeah, so the real essence is for us as a company to come together, because branding is not only about the logo, it's about our message, about who we are, what we value, and how we do it. And we got an external party to come and really question us and get us to sit down and spend time. And that was really the real essence of it. And from this exercise, we now are going to be able to display and give value to the world through through our messaging, through the graphics we design, and so forth. And I think the timing was probably just right, because we're coming out as a company where I've never met my co-founder. She's in the United States of America. She's a female. I'm very proud to have a Black owned 100% company, which is international. So we're going to come out with a brand that is competing globally, and we're going to push the bounds. And maybe she might hate me for this, but our brand is going to sound urban wit. I'm just going to leave you with that. Wow. Urban wit. That's us.
Okay, that sounds very, very interesting. So definitely looking out, and congratulations on the rebrand, and looking forward to see what happens as it unfolds. One of the things that I'm really weak in as well is branding. The colors and stuff, they mean very, very little to me. Like, guys, but I love to see when a company's got it on point, it becomes very obvious, regardless of how illiterate I am in the world of branding. It's just like you get it. And I mean, just to drive that point home, somebody on LinkedIn posted, they actually posted Google's new rebranding effort, and they actually, I think in the video of this, I'll probably screenshot it. But he's like, I can't see the difference actually between any of these icons, these new Google icons. Can anybody tell me what the heck is going on here? And that just and for me as a brand, Google's confused the heck out of me with many of their stuff, and it just kind of speaks to that. It's like this message is kind of continuing because they have so many products, they have so many different things, and it just becomes so difficult to navigate many of Google's stuff. And you can see a very intelligent person is behind it, but it's not very clear what all their stuff is, what their things are about. So very looking forward to what you come out with. And look, man, good luck going forward. Look, let's see 2021. What's on the cards besides urban wit? What's on the cards for 2021?
Yeah, 2021. The company is going to move into something we're going to call a organic page strategy. So we've got some proprietary software where we can actually track organic performance on personal brand content, right?
Wow.
And now you won't need to guess what ad you need to create, because if a post went viral organically, now you can actually understand that it works on an audience. Now you can actually put paid advertising into it. So that's a strategy we're going to be using, paid organic. And from a personal point of view, I'm going to be training to do a triathlon. I'm going to get back into my triathlon. So COVID thought it took away from me things I love. Nah, you didn't. Nah, you didn't. Yeah. And just generally continuing to see how we can reach out to as many passionate entrepreneurs who share the same values as us to, continue to make the world a slightly better place one day at a time.
Oh, awesome, man. Thank you very much, Jason. Awesome chatting to
you. Yeah, thank you so much, Captain. It was really cool.
Awesome.